it. I'll get it. I promise. I'll get it. I'll get it. I promise. I'll have the money. I swear. Please. I swear. Oh, it's just a bad dream. What a nightmare.
Some days you're up and other days you're down. Always tip the dealers and when your waitress comes around, cause sometimes you punt and other times you're round. And you might get cooler to flop the nuts when you sit down. The outcome of the hand don't mean that you made it, cause life's not about the result but more on how you played it. Hitting 8s, 9s, and 10s and all the painted faces. Every day you play is a win, even if you're mucking aces.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Mucking Aces Poker channel. This is episode 6. We are going to head over to the Lucky Chances Casino, see if we can hop into the 1-1-2 game. Definitely hope to run it up over there. Wish us luck.
Alright, in this very first hand, we pick up pocket queens as soon as we sit down in middle position. Playing 6-handed, I make it 15 in this smaller 1-1-2 game. And the small blind and player to my right end up making the call. I'm looking to make a continuation bet with all lower cards to my premium pair, but it doesn't come to that when the flop comes out 10-8-3 rainbow, and the small blind player leads out for $25. The player to my right, he gets out of the way, and I think that I left a ton of value on the table as I only elect to make the call in this situation. When the turn comes the 2 of clubs, I decide to try and make up for my nitty play after it gets checked to me for a sizing of $45. The small blind thinks for quite a while in this spot and ends up electing on a call. I really think that I made a few mistakes in this hand based on the small blind's wider range that you should have when the river comes and offsuit 10 and the small blind checks to me. While this does look like it would be a scare card, I end up checking back, and I may have put this player on a 10, but I don't think that he would have checked the river if he hit trips. So I probably lost a ton of value in this hand when I show him, but definitely happy to take this one down. And in this next hand, we are in middle position, and we pick up ace-queen suited of the club variety, and when it's $8 to me, I elect to bump it up, and I make it 23 to go. Unfortunately, all the players are OMCs at this time, so they elect to make the fold, and we take down this pretty small pot. And in the next hand, we pick up pocket 8s under the gun, and with the pocket ochos, we elect to bump it up here to make it 30, and the players to my left actually end up thinking about it for quite a while here and actually end up folding to my under the gun bet here. So definitely happy to take this one down again. I guess we're just taking down that dead money there. Well, after noticing that a lot of the players are fairly timid and are folding to my raises, I elect to open here with King 5 offsuit. Definitely a pretty wide range here, and I'm looking to mix it up. So I go ahead and elect to just make the call, and we go to see a flop 5 ways, and the flop comes King 2-6 with 2 hearts out there. So I elect to check with top pair, and when it gets checked around, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can throw out a bet. With the 6 coming on the turn, I elect to throw out that bet there, and I try to make it fairly small, throwing out a $15 bet, but unfortunately, everyone folds. So definitely happy to take down a lot of that dead money. I decided to show a 5 there, to let everyone know that I was opening up pretty wide. So we fold the next hand, but then we pick up King 10 offsuit under the gun, and I elect to limp. I know I should never limp, but definitely with how the table has been playing, I elect to do so, and we see a flop here. And when that flop comes out after everyone limps around, we see a 3, a 10, and a 4, and it is a rainbow board. So I elect to see if I can get some money here in the pot. I throw out a bet of $15, and surprisingly, someone elects to make the call, and they end up making the call in the hijack position. When the 8 of spades comes out, I elect to try and bump it up here, with a bet of $40, and unfortunately, it's just too rich for their blood, and they elect to fold. And the next playable hand, I pick up a 7 of spades. This suited hand here looks to be one that I can 3-bet after the under the gun player elects to make it $8. I decide to bump it up to 35 and see if I can take down some of that dead money and or get some players to make the call and see what we can do maneuvering post flop. The player on the button elects to take his sweet time to decide if he wants to come along. Unfortunately, he does not. And the player who made it $8 actually does, in fact, elect to make the call. So we go heads up to the flop, and that flop is going to come here, and that flop is 9 Jack Ace with 2 spades. So we do hit top pair here and have the nut flush draw. So I elect to make a C bet to see if I can get the under the gun player to come along. I throw out a bet here that is fairly large, bumping it up to about 140, and unfortunately he does make the fold, but definitely happy to take down that money here in this smaller game. Quite a while goes by before we get a playable hand that comes in the form of Ace King in the small blind. Ace King offsuit here, I elect to make it 25 more, bumping it up to 33 to see if we can get anyone to come along. We do get one caller, but he does ponder it for quite a while. So while he's sitting there thinking about if he wants to put in the extra $25 or not, I'm going to go ahead and take this time to ask everyone to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Definitely helps out the channel a whole lot, and I do apologize for the delay. So when the player finally does elect to make the call and the players end up folding after him, we go to see a flop, which comes out 7 King 9. And at this point, I've waited so long here for the player to make a call. I go ahead and donk out. Definitely not going to be able to get any more value out of this player after how long he took to think about this one. He kind of Hollywoods a bit here, acting like he's going to possibly make the call, but ends up making the fold. I should have made a little bit smaller bet there, but I appreciate your guys' patience. So we pick up Ace 8 offsuit under the gun a little while later. With it being $4 to me under the gun, I elect to just limp in here with how the table's been going. So I make it $8, and we get a couple of colors here. And once it is 14 in the pot, we see a flop of ace, jack, 6, rainbow. Since we hit our top pair, I'm going to go ahead and lead out with a continuation bet of $10. And the player in late position ends up making it 10 more to go. So I make the call. On the turn, coming to 2, I go ahead and lead out, and he quickly folds there. So definitely happy to take down that dead money with the very timid players. Hand of the night, we pick up king 4 in the big blind, and I start this hand off knowing that I'm going to run a bluff. I just felt that the table was being so passive from those hands that I had seen before. So I go ahead and open with the king 4. And when we get to the flop of 5 deuce 3, I'm going to represent having a big hand, which I do have a fairly large draw with the 4 of diamonds in my hand, but pretty much knowing that I do not have any larger pocket pair or a pocket pair at all. I'm looking to just run a huge bluff. So I elect to fire again when the 9 of spades comes on the turn, and the player in late position ends up making the call when I throw out another bet here, making it 122 in the pot. He stops to think and tanks for quite a while before making the call, and we go to a river, which with 162 in the pot comes a queen of spades, completing the flush draw. That queen of spades is going to be a real scare card for the very timid players in this hand. So I'm going to elect to make it look like I spiked that and throw out a very large bet. I decided to fire out a bet of $100 in this 1-1-2 game, and the player in late position tanks for quite a long time. He tanks for a very long time and ends up making the fold, telling me, "Nice hand, sir." I really breathe a deep sigh of relief there. Play for a few more hours before wrapping up, but definitely happy to book a win.
All right, y'all, that's it for episode 6. Thanks so much for tuning in. Definitely helps the channel if you drop a like. So hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the content. Definitely look forward to running it up in the next one. We got into the game for $300 and we're out of the game for just under $500. So we'll have the numbers up here. And definitely, if you do enjoy the channel, tell somebody, have them hit the subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. And I will have a link in the description for one of the shirts for the channel as well. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Peace.